Hey guys, welcome to GAIJINGUY, where we talk about culture, critical theory and comics, manga and monsters, fandom and folklore. Today I'm going to be talking about my manga haul. This is a bunch of comics that I got for a great price at a soon-to-be closing Manyu Shoten here in Kumamoto. Let's take a look at what I've got. It's always sad when a specialty used rare comic shop shuts down. Manyu Shoten is one of the best used rare comic shops in Kumamoto, and unfortunately it's closing at the end of this month. Until it closes, they're offering a 30% discount on everything. So everything you see here, which I already got at pretty good prices, was also marked down an extra 30%. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I already had this number one. This is Sukeban Deka by WADA Shinji, which I had bought elsewhere. This is about a schoolgirl, kind of a rough and tough girl. She's the boss of the school. She gets blackmailed into working for the police. It's a really interesting story. It was turned into a TV series with several seasons and I believe a couple movies. I got these 2, 3, and 4. That is a lot of comic reading for 88 cents, and then an additional 30% off that. So I was really excited about getting these. I'm going to work this way. MIZUKI Shigeru is somebody who I do a lot of research on, so I was actually very excited when the guy at the counter told me that he had all of these for 50 yen each if I wanted them, and I said, bring it on. And these are really nice. Shonen magazine, which we talked about in the last video. Look at that. Front and back art, which you don't always see. So that's very exciting. All of these came out around the same time. We're talking 1986, 87, 88. So it's not a time that I'm that familiar with, but I'm guessing that there was another Gegege no Kitaro boom. This is Akuma-kun, by the way. Very similar to Kitaro, which is MIZUKI Shigeru's most popular character, which I'll show you in a sec. This is actually a character he did also during his rental comics era. I'll probably talk about that in the future. This is probably his second most popular series after Gegege no Kitaro. This is Kappa no Sanpei. Sanpei the Kappa. Kappa is like a river goblin. Wherever there's a river in Japan, there's going to be stories about Kappa. And there's all different kinds of Kappa. And if you look on the back cover here, it looks like MIZUKI is providing his fans with a look at different kinds of kappa, some friendly, some cute, some not so friendly or cute. Where I live in Mifune, there's a big river, the Mifune River. Kids love to swim in it. Parents are always trying to get the kids out of the river, so they would tell them, the kappa's gonna get you. It's gonna pull you down and drown you if you don't get out. So that's something that was used until quite recently, actually. So there's actually a couple of different interesting stories about kappa, which I hope to do in a future video. So let's look at this series. So Gegege no Kitaro, Shonen magazine. This also has the great front and back cover art with lots of different yokai characters featured. That's Kitaro. He's the hero. He's a character who is basically a yokai himself, but he fights against evil yokai to help humans, which, as we know with most comics, it's a thankless task. Just ask the X-Men. I really like having this series for a couple of reasons. One, there's all the most popular characters, missing my favorite, which is Neko Musume. I'm sure she's here somewhere. Where's my girl? Well, that's not her. But apparently, whenever you see a pretty girl in Kitaro, this is the work of Tsuge Yoshiharu, who was a quite popular artist and quite innovative, developing works of the surreal in Garo magazine. I was for sure she was here somewhere. Now I'm wasting time looking for her. Here we have another series of Kitaro. Now, there she is, Neko Musume. She's so cool. I was very excited to get this. I got this somewhere else, in Kitakyushu actually. This is the original Neko Musume, cat girl. And this is from his rental comics era. So the art isn't as polished, you know? So I just really like that character. This series also seems to have some good yokai introductions. On the back, there's Aburasumashi. This is a character from Kumamoto, so could be a neighbor of mine, who knows? That's the Nurikabe. Nurikabe was actually sighted not too far from here. I'd say about 5 minutes by car. And the sighting was listed in the newspaper. Of course, this was several decades ago. But I know we're gonna be able to talk about that somewhere down the line. Here's another Kitaro book. This one, Kitaro Goes to Hell. That's his mom. There's Aburasumashi. That's his mom. So he's going to hell to meet his mom. There's Neko Musume, the early version. Now, in the latest iteration of the animation, they've made her all kawaii and a little bit moe. So really excited to have those. And then this is not Shonen magazine. This is Comic Bonbon. So I'm guessing that this one was kind of targeted to a little bit younger reader. So the reason that I'm excited about getting these is because I've only read Hakaba no Kitaro, Kitaro of the Graveyard, which is the early Kashihon version of Kitaro. So I'm really looking forward to reading this stuff where the art is super tight. And really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. I already had... Oh, no, I didn't have this one. So I got these because, look at that. The price is crazy. I already had number 5, so I didn't bring it in with this, but I got these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So I wanted to have those. Coming up next, I've got Panther Man. Panther Man. It was supposed to be a tokusatsu show, and they made a pilot. And when they made the pilot, they already commissioned the comic to be made. The first volume by a Namba Kenji and Miyazaki Tsutomu. The second volume by my guy, Kuwata Jiro, which you might know of at manga fame. Really tight stuff. This guy's layouts are just the best. I consider him Kirby level when it comes to readable comics. So why wouldn't you get that? Actually, the show was going to be directed by a guy I mentioned in the Shonen magazine video, Ushio Soji, who did Space Giants and Spectre Man and Lion Maru. So of course, he did a guy with the lion head for a head. So of course, why wouldn't he do a guy with a panther's head or a jaguar's head for a head? I mean, you know, natural progression. I picked up these. These are Akatsuka Fujio's Himitsu no Akko-chan. And I wanted to get this Akatsuka Akatsuka Fujio is one of the members of the Tokiwaso group. It was an apartment that Tezuka lived in and brought young creators in, and they all helped each other with deadlines, and the kind of cross-pollination of their various techniques, creative impulses, what have you, resulted in a huge leap in evolution of the Japanese comic. So I like to get some more stuff by him. Obake no Kyutaro, this is by Fujio, which is another pair of guys who use one name that were also living in the Tokiwaso apartment. Apparently in this you can see the work of several other members clearly, like, oh, that's Ishinomori Shotaro. I'm going to be looking through to see if I can spot anything like that in here. These two guys, eventually their work was renamed by whoever did the most work on it. So it would either be Fujiko F. Fujio or Fujiko Fujio A. And those were the two pen names of the two guys when they wanted more personal recognition, I suppose. Okay, what do we got next? All right, this is a reprint. Akado Suzunosuke by Terauchi Tsunayoshi. This is by Shogakukan Creative. Of course, very nice, very high priced, but I got both of them for a steal. About 1,500 yen, about 15 bucks for both of these, and of course the 30% discount. So really happy to get those. This guy was contemporary to early MIZUKI. So we're talking 1957, 1958 that this was super popular. So going around the curve. Another Tokiwaso member, even though he didn't live in the apartment, Tsunoda Jiro, the artist for this, Ushiro no Hyakutaro, the Hyakutaro behind you. He often visited the apartment, helped out with stuff, and got advice, etc., got jobs. This is one of his early works. It's very, very comical, but there's a lot of really good art in this. Like, it's not just gag, comic type of art. There's some really detailed stuff in here, which isn't popping up at the moment, but he gave this to me free, the guy at the counter. Really excited about these. Some other freebies I got were these two rental comics, Kashihon Comics. Ninja Jinbetsucho, I think is how you would read that. Of course, it's a ninja comic. It's obviously inspired by the work of Shirato Sanpei, the big Kashihon ninja guy, until he went more mainstream. Did more ninja comics. Interested in that. I also got this Matsumoto Reiji early girls comic. You can see that he was inspired by his wife's work, Maki Miyako. She is also very influential in what became the shoujo manga style. She's interesting because she also created the sex comics for women genre, ladies comics as they're called. So that's exciting. It's all exciting for me, guys. This is Yokoyama Ryuichi. He's also early mangaka, post-war. Very soon after, he was quite popular. We're going to see his work when I do the video on the first Shonen Sunday. So we're going to see more of him. I got that for free too. I was having a good day, even though I was, of course, very sad to hear that the shop is closing down at the end of this month. Here's Maha Sanshiro. So Maha is like Mach like speed, Mach 5. And this is actually a progenitor to Speed Racer. It says here the layouts were by Yoshida Tatsuo, and that's where Tatsunoko Pro, the animation company that made Speed Racer and Gatchaman and Kashan and all those wonderful things, started out in comics. His little brother doing the art, Kuri Ippei, that's not his real name, but that's his pen name, and then the writing by Kume Minoru. This kind of style you're going to see with other creators because Tatsunoko also were very influential. And one of the guys who worked at Tatsunoko was this guy, Mochizuki Mikiya. And this is a comic that I've been hearing about, the Kennedy Knights. And of course, John F. Kennedy. And this is the guy who did Wild 7, which is a crazy but wonderful biker gang that saves the world. That's Wild 7. So this is another group. This is more fantastical than that series, but it's quite bizarre. It starts off with the assassination of Kennedy, and the last thing he does is give Order 0. And somehow that starts the creation of the Kennedy Knights. So I think this is related actually to Kennedy's creation of the Peace Corps. I think that's what was the inspiration, and they kind of took it to a weird place. I've been hearing a lot about this. I've been wanting to read it. They had #1, so I got it. This is right here, for me, the big prize. I was able to get this set. This is Ninja Bugeicho by Shirato Sanpei. This is the ninja comic that started the ninja comic boom. This is the one. This is the series. And so it's very important, seminal work. And I'd only had like the very first volume, but they had these there for like 300 yen each, which I don't understand at all, because these are amazing. And because I was able to get 4 up to 16, I went ahead and got the other 2 online, ordered these to fill out the set. And these were like 10 and 15 bucks each. Apparently, this #2 is important. This specific #2 is important because they were unable to find the original pages afterwards. So any other reprints are all redrawn, where this has the original pages. Anyway, let's just take a look at these, okay? Because just some, you know what, when I turn it like this, the order gets all wonky. That's okay, right? You'll forgive me, won't you? Okay, let's just take a look at some of these covers, because I just think they're gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. I almost want to display them like this across my whole wall. That's how gorgeous they are. Let's take a look at a few more. Wow, and those styles are completely different. Very interesting, and that looks like a completely fantastic. It looks like that Tezuka rock-looking robot, which I've drawn a blank on at the moment. I have not seen these yet, you guys, so this is the first time to see many of these. Wow. These are just gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. But this is the series that I know at least 2 manga researchers say that this is their favorite manga series of all time. I can't wait to get into this. I have a lot of stuff to read. Thank you for joining me on this unpacking of my manga haul. I hope that you'll join me for future videos. And please don't hate me too much for getting such good deals. They just fall in my lap. I can do nothing about it except take advantage of it. Before I sign off, let's take a look at those numbers. So it was 1 hour of shopping, 4 full shopping bags of comics for a total of 73 comics, and the price tag comes out to 7,700 yen, about 70 bucks. So not a bad deal if you ask me. Hope to see you next time. Please consider subscribing. I will see you soon.